สวัสดีค่ะตอนนี้พี่แจนอยู่ที่งานพบผู้ปกครองและก็นักเรียนของโรงเรียนเอกชนนะคะทั้งหญิงล้วนชายล้วนที่มีชื่อเสียงค่ะใน Christchurch แล้วก็ตอนนี้เนี่ยเดี๋ยวเขาจะเป็น Presentation เดี๋ยวพี่แจนจะให้ชมนะคะว่าเป็นยังไงบ้างบรรยากาศแล้วก็ข้อมูลค่ะ
Hello everyone, and I welcome you all to this event organized by the preschool here, the Christ College Rangi in St. Margaret. Actually I thank the opportunity to be just to give a short welcome speech, and I think both preschool I have the association with all the preschool because God was asking me how I went to Christ College, and I said it's because of my cousin, because her father, my cousin's father, my uncle, wanted to send his daughter to Rangi. So he came and asked my father to send me to boys' school, to Christ College. And eventually, my sister went to St. Margaret. So actually, my sort of bigger family have all the association with the three schools. Yeah. So I, would like to welcome Catherine from Christ College, Dana Patchett from St. Margaret, and Sandra Hayes from Rangi. I think us who went to school in New Zealand will tell you that we had a very positive experience. At the time, of course, there was good time and bad time. There was tough time and there was easy time. But at the end of the day, where we are now, where I am, and what I said last year, and I said what Christ College did to me, was that the school built character. And I always say that I think I come a long way because I did go to Christ College. So thank you, Christ College. I have a small gift actually. I was at my company events this morning. I work at Thai Beverage, and my company does a lot of sort of CSR, and we did a lot of activity with villagers. So I thought I give you a small gift that you enjoy. It's what we call in Thai is a pa khao ma. Pa khao ma is it's a hand-woven piece of cloth, and this one is soft because there's a special. It's from a province called Nong Buon Lampu, and it's soft because they said they use the water from washing the rice before we cook it. There's some process, I don't know. So I thought that I give you this. In Thailand, pa khao ma has many purposes. You can use it many ways. As a scarf, or you can wear it. You can also wear it. Use it as a scarf. And what else? Many things. I think you have to go around and ask all our boys. Yeah. So may I, take this opportunity also to give you some. This is, of course, Christ College.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And I hope this is appropriate for Rangi. And some green for St. Margaret. Thank you. All right.
Beautiful.
Welcome to Bangkok, and thanks for this opportunity because then I get to see my colleagues here, and I never met them during school because I was there. I was the only Thai boy for a few years at Christ College, but now I get to meet them all. So I
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Now my technical kato na mi inu ikia koto katoa. Ki te atua, tēnā koe. Ki te papanunuku, tēnā koe. Ki te manuhura, tēnā koutou. Ki te whānau o te kora Aotearoa, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Nā mai, haere mai, haere mai, haere mai. I just, on behalf of our colleagues, I'd just like to reciprocate the very warm welcome that we have received in Thailand. There is so much about our two countries that we share. The first, I think, is a shared value in education. We have high expectations for our children, but we also value equally that character development that you just spoke about. And that is similar in all three of our schools. I'm just going to pop a slide up here so you know who I am. Keep going. Okay. Is there There's other similarities besides just education, actually, between Thailand and New Zealand. Auckland shares, of course, the traffic of Bangkok, but not Christchurch. And Auckland will share the very rainy weather that you had when you were arriving here tonight. That doesn't happen in Christchurch either. But what happens in Christchurch, I think, is the real generosity of spirit and the friendliness of people. That is in Christchurch. And I hope that you all remember that fondly from your time in the South Island. The royal family also, I've been pleased to realise, had a really shared value in education right from the very first times of Rama I. And then in 1897, I think it was on the initiative of the Queen of Rama V, where girls were first introduced into education in Thailand. And that's very similar times, actually, to when girls' schools were first introduced in New Zealand. But we do share, I found, a real tie, a tie with 1910. And I wonder whether you know what the poignant connection might be there. It was actually the same year that both St Margaret's College was founded and Vajrawood College also was founded. And it was really the foresight of Rama VI, because these were quite prosperous times, I believe, for Thailand. But he broke away from the tradition of all the Thai kings, where royal monastery was the first thing that they would build in their time in office. And he instead, he deemed that there were too many temples already in Bangkok, so he decided to build what he called at that point the Royal Pages College. And I just wanted to share with you some words, I've written them down here. A handwritten letter from King Vajrawood, who wrote, he said, "In the Royal Pages College, what I want is not so much to turn out model students, all of the same standard, all brilliant scholars with thousands of marks each, but I want to turn out efficient young people who will be physically and morally clean and who will be looking forward keenly to take up whatever burden the future may lay upon them." Again, some terrific foresight in character development right back in the early times of Thailand. And so King Vajrawood, and the founders of St Margaret's College certainly appeared to share some of the same things. For our motto, Beate Mundo Corde, actually translates to "Blessed are the pure of heart," and that seems to align beautifully with what the king was aspiring for his school. So I'm very new to the job at St Margaret's. I have only been as the principal there for 10 weeks. So you will know far more about St Margaret's College than I do. But what I can share with you tonight are some of my very first impressions. And for many of our old girls here in particular who may not have returned to the campus in some time, perhaps some images just to share with you of what St Margaret's College today looks like. So the first thing I noticed about St Margaret's is it's a very modern school. So modern meaning that we've got 90% of our campus has now been remodeled into fabulous new facilities. Then we are, some of you that have not yet visited for a while, you will hardly recognise the college, I'm sure. But balanced with that modern campus is actually still a very traditional one. So here, I'm sure the girls will recognize this one. Kilburn House, our senior boarding house. While it might be modern on the inside, it's still very traditional on the outside. We also are still very proud of our Anglican tradition. Yeah, there's our chaplain Peg still there. I'm sure she sends her regards. But also now building on a terrific legacy of old girls at St Margaret's. So this is a picture from some of the very early days when the pool was first opened. But this is now one of many fourth generation St Margaret's girls. And it's a real privilege to be a leader of a school that attracts that number of family traditions back to the school. We also know St Margaret's is a school that knows its place in the world and really values the bicultural element of New Zealand, building that into lots of the new traditions that the school is proud of. But we also, Nonnie, there you are. We also celebrate diversity. This is just on a recent International Day, but we're certainly not a school that's looking to produce all scholars that are exactly the same. We really celebrate the diversity of our community. But at the core of it is the St Margaret's family, and I think that comes from having girls from year 1 all the way through to year 13. It really gives a sense of family to the school, but it also imbibes a sense of fun. And so the school is still somewhere. We know that happy children are the ones that learn best, so we're certainly got lots of happy girls at St Margaret's. Still the same 6 houses, girls, lots of opportunities for house spirit. And they're genuinely joyful to be at school. And I think it's because we have such a breadth of curriculum. It pays, the co-curricular opportunities that we have available. I think Miss Chambers was telling me we've got 35 different sports and about 50 clubs that you can be part of. So whether you're a musician or a sports person or a rock singer or someone that's really into technology, St Margaret's is a school for all comers. We're also a school that has an appreciation for beauty and excellence. So a very strong dance program, but also celebrates equally excellence with endeavour. At the end of the day, the girls are really part of such a terrific school and such a fabulous community. And as a result, they have a generosity of spirit then that encourages them to give back to others. And so there's a good deal of service to our wider community, whether involved with the elderly, but also with people less fortunate than ourselves. So that sort of sums up my first impressions. In 10 weeks, 10 things that I would share with you that I've learned already in my short time at St Margaret's. And you can see why I would be very proud and feel very lucky to be a principal of such an outstanding school. It's been such a delight meeting some of our alumni here this evening. I hope it's given you girls an opportunity to reconnect and maybe remember what it is that you loved about St Margaret's. But now I'd like to just share with you our current head of debating and the head of our environmental committee, Millie O'Brien. She'd like to just say a few words about why she loves St Margaret's.
พยายามเปิดเสียงให้ได้ยินนะคะเป็นวิดีโอค่ะของโรงเรี มาแล้ว
What do I love about St Margaret's? I love the amazing sense of community and that as seniors, we're leaders, role models and big sisters to the younger girls.
I love support. Not only from my peers but from the incredible teachers who help us to be the best we can be, developing a lifelong love of learning. I love that when you walk through the gates, there's a sense of inclusion that you don't get anywhere else. You're surrounded by people who care. The friendships we make here will last well beyond our days at St Margaret's.
I love that there is so much opportunity, both in and outside the classroom, and that you have a choice of academic pathways, International Baccalaureate or NCEA. I love that it's cool to succeed and success is celebrated at every level, whether in sport, in the arts or academically.
I love that we're a family. Boys and day girls, junior, middle and senior school. There are no labels. We accept each other for who we are and where we want to go.
I love that we're part of a tradition that extends over a century, empowering generation after generation of young women to become anything we're prepared to work hard for.
What do I love about St Margaret's? I love that it allows me to be me.
A quick word to our old girls, our alumni who are here today. You're welcome back anytime. We've been made to feel so very welcome here in Thailand. I know Ms. Chambers and I have just been delighted to see so many of you make an effort to come back and reconnect with one another. But please, you're welcome back to Christchurch anytime. Thank you.
Tēnā tātou katoa, koutou kia I te pāhi mai, no mai ki tēnā iwi. Welcome, my name is Sandra Hasty and I'm the proud principal of Rangi Ruru Girls School. And can I say it's my first time in Bangkok. I've only been to the airport before and how wonderful it has been to spend a few days getting to know your beautiful country and your hospitality and your welcome. So thank you for letting me experience Bangkok. It's been a really lovely time. So I can talk a lot about Rangi Ruru, but I thought I'd start by letting you see a very short video about it. Thank you. Not sure what happened there, but we'll carry on. So Rangi Ruru, 129 years old. So founded by the Gibson sisters, a group of women, sisters, who wanted to give girls a voice, who wanted to give girls an education. And that is what they did. They enabled girls to have an education and to have a voice. And it's very significant when we think about celebrating this year about how long it's been since women have been given the right to vote. So at Rangi Ruru we have 30 international students, and 4 of our students are Thai students. And can I tell you how much we love them? They are wonderful young women. They grasp everything that Rangi has to offer. They get fully involved in our school, and they bring a real richness to our culture and a real richness to us as global citizens. So I'd like to have some more Thai students in the future. We do love them. We do love that part of Asia that they bring to us. Rangi has had a wonderful year, successful year, and we've had great results academically and sporting. But perhaps what I'm most proud of is the young women that we are actually producing. Women who are prepared to take risks, women who are prepared to go out and try new things, and being prepared for what that future is going to be, whatever that may look like. So Rangi is in great heart and in great spirit, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank very much our alumni and our past parents who are with us this evening. It's so lovely for me to meet you, to reconnect with you. So thank you very much for coming out and sharing this time with us. And I'd also like to acknowledge Jack and his team. Thank you for hosting us. It's been an absolutely wonderful opportunity. So as you can see by the many pictures that are flicking up, Rangi very much is about community, it's about family. I don't think it's going actually, it's too big for me. So I'll just talk louder. I thought that only happens in Christchurch technically. Obviously it's a worldwide trend. Some of the slides that you can see coming up talk about our theme, and our theme this year was Strength and Sisterhood. It's a theme that was put up by our Year 13 students, our leaders, so you can see them in their gold braided blazers, and they wanted it to be the year of sisterhood. Thank you, I've got sound back, it's great. So Strength and Sisterhood, or they walked around doing this, which is the S. So it very much has been about coming together and being a family. So once again, thank you for being here, and I hope I've given you a little bit of a slice of Rangi Ruru, a school that's going into its 130th year, still strong, still growing wonderful young women, and thank you so much for letting us share this evening with you and Thailand. Thank you so much.
Kia ora, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very fortunate to be able to follow my 2 colleagues at this time, because it allows me to draw on the great strengths of Christchurch and the offer that it has for students of all types when it comes to independent education, independent single-sex education, something that each of us are very, very proud of. How fortunate are we at Christ College to have both our sisters and our girlfriends so close to us in all that we do. And it is interesting that we share so much together in educating young people from all parts of the world, and certainly from significant parts of New Zealand. And it's a great privilege for us to be able to do so. Christ College, of course, sits as one of the oldest schools in New Zealand, started in 1850, and we think about it being almost 168 years old now. And so with a motto that talks about good traditions well maintained, we look to do that in an environment where we very much hope innovation and excellence is wrapped in tradition. And that is really emblematic for us in our school by our remarkable architecture and by our remarkable connection to our Anglican forebears, those who started Christ's College in 1850. So it's a pretty exciting and interesting place. I have been the principal now for just 2.5 years, and in so doing, I've been very privileged in the way that I've been able to be a part of the reorganisation and the refocusing of a post-earthquake Christ College in a post-earthquake Christchurch. So I think, in a way, Diana, Sandra and I are the next generation of leadership for independent education in that city, in these 3 schools, because we've come at a time where Christchurch is moving beyond 2011. And it's a very exciting time for the 3 of us as we move forward. I came to the school when there'd been reconsideration around strategy in that post-earthquake rebuild, where the beauty of Christ College had been re-established, and we were now thinking about the future, and you'll see that a little bit at the end. And what we talked about was what Christ College was for, and fundamentally it came down to much the same as our girls' schools, and that is it's about building the character of the child, that when they leave their education, they will go out into the world to make a difference for themselves, but also contribute to the community of which they are a part, through their professional or work expertise and through their understanding and belief in philanthropy, that idea of time, treasure and talent being a component of who they were as a person, and understanding that it is from giving that we actually receive so much. So you can see some words there that are important to us in how we see ourselves. Each boy is best at the core of what we try to achieve. Our strategic intent leading up to 2020 has these themes and focus. And we're partway through that journey towards that conclusion of this particular strategy. And I would simply suggest to you that we're talking about those things that are about a quality education. Health and well-being is so significant for young people nowadays. We're focusing on that as being an element of everything that we do. The ideals of the Round Square, the box that you can see at the right, has seen Christ College join the Round Square organisation, which is an international collective of 180 schools based in Gordonston, which has as its themes internationalism, democracy, environmentalism, adventure, leadership and service. They're themes that are very important to us. We then moved on to want to make sure that each of our boys is at his best through a much more personalised program. And then, of course, you can see that the college experience is benchmarked against international standards, and by so doing, we know that we're actually not just the best boys' school in New Zealand, but we're one of the best boys' schools in the world. And the only way you can do that is by asking things about yourself. Our virtues are based on our core Christian foundations. These are words that I think, I'm sure, speak to your heart. Our recent successes are many and varied across the wide spread of both our academic and co-curricular programs. It's interesting that I was just speaking to Jack to say that two of the boys actually standing in that row have just in fact represented New Zealand in the rugby schoolboys team against Australia, and they won, of course, so that's a bit of a sadness for this Australian, but never mind. We've had a range of different successes in a wide variety of different activities that represent the nature of our school. We've seen an element of variety that's reflected in all that we do, be that in the cultural side of our school, in the sporting side of our school, in the character development side of our school. Just quickly, some new ideas and new initiatives that we put in place. Who's a Jacobs boy in here? Who's a Jacobs boy? There's a few of you, I think. Okay. Jacobs is one of the houses that is in Christ College, one of the ways that we organise our pastoral care. And Jacobs House was a boarding house up until 2015. It was decided to close Jacobs House as a boarding house in itself. But the good news is that now every boy is a Jacobs House boarder, because every boy in the school, all of the day boys and the other boarders, go into Jacobs House for 1 month together, and they have a 1 month boarding experience. So I always say to people who are old Jacob's House boys, Jacob's House is now in the heart of every college boy, not just the ones that live there. So everyone gets to be a Jacob's boy and everyone gets to be a boarder at college for 1 month. So it's been a really wonderful program for people to start to understand perhaps the living circumstances and what being a boarder is really all about. One of the things that we're trying to do, as is our sister school and Rangi Ruru, is that we are really trying to develop holistic young people who are ready to take on the challenges of a complicated future. All of you are in business, all of you are working at the moment in circumstances where you see enormous change. We need to have characteristics of young people that enable them to go forward positively and constructively. And that's what we're doing with the Christchurch College graduate. We're looking at developing there the sorts of skills and dispositions which will prepare them for the life ahead, no matter what it is that they choose. And it's interesting, and when we were forming our college graduate profile, we learned a lot from the graduate profiles that already existed at St Margaret's and Rangi Ruru. So we took a lot from our girls' school colleagues and friends to make these sorts of characteristics very important. Future, well, we're in a very interesting time at college. We're looking to make the next step forward in a variety of ways, both in the programs that we offer and the facilities that we have in mind. So I'm not going to show you all of this particular video, but it gives you a bit of a taste of where we're heading into the future. And I hope it just should play when I push the next button.
Christ College aims to be a school of choice. Our quality teachers and innovative programs are among the best, but some of our facilities lag behind other schools. To future-proof our standing as one of the world's premier schools, we have a bold vision that starts with building the Sporting Excellence Health and Wellbeing Centre. The fundraising reality is pretty clear because at the beginning of 2018 the board looked at its resources and its future planning and said we need probably half of the construction cost, which we're penning at about 15 million, to a total cost of $20 million for the centre. That's what we're on board for. That's 7.5 million by at the latest June next year.
Now, all I want to say to you with this is not a pitch for finances, it's just giving you an idea that the boys amongst us know this building, which is a lovely new gymnasium and a multi-purpose sports facility, we're hoping to build on Cranmer Square, which is just opposite the art gallery in Christchurch. It's actually the same distance from the front gates at college as is the swimming pool. So if you were walking down to the gym, it's the same as going to the swimming pool. And what we're hoping to then enable us to do is provide fantastic opportunities for the community of Christchurch to be able to use this facility as well as ourselves. So it'll be open from 6 in the morning till 10 at night. And the idea is that we will then have the opportunity to really enable us to develop on campus a new science block. Because post-earthquake college has a science block and a gymnasium that were built in the 1970s. So that's the next phase of our real development that will enable us to develop that college graduate that we've been talking about. So, you know, those two things. So it's an exciting vision and it's a really beautiful building that we're hoping that we'll be able to build into the future. So, you want to skip that now? Yeah, skip the whole thing, that's fine. End of slideshow, is that one finished? Okay, that's fine. Thank you. So I think the point, I guess in a way, what the three of us would say to you is this. We highly value the fact that you are here. Thank you so much for coming. We've really appreciated your engagement with our schools in the period of time that you've been there. All of us are reaching out to create global citizens. Having international students is a part of all of our strategy, and we would love to have Thai students who would love to have the experience of being at Christ College, at Rangi, Ruru and St Margaret's, because I can say to you, as someone who is now in his 7th boys' school, having worked in many states and in several parts of the world, there is not a better education available for young people than that which exists in our 3 schools in Christchurch in the South Island of New Zealand. And it couldn't be a more beautiful space. So thank you all for listening. We hope you've got a little insight from each of our schools, and we hope now that you can enjoy each other's company. Please don't rush away, have fun, and have another drink and enjoy the chance to be together. So thank you very, very much.
จบไปแล้วนะคะสำหรับ3สถาบัน Christchurch ค่ะก็จบไปแล้วนะคะสำหรับ3สถาบันใน Christchurch ค่ะก็ถ้าใครสนใจนะคะติดต่อทีมงานเข้ามาได้เลยค่ะ ENSA Study เราเป็นตัวแทนทุกสถาบันนะคะบ๊ายบายไปก่อนสำหรับวันนี้ค่ะ